Hi, I'm Tiana Herrera,
And I'm Marissa Carter.
and today I'm going to teach Marissa about the nutrition facts label on the back of manufactured foods.
Okay, sounds good.
So I'm going to be showing her the back of this Pocky box, and then I'm going to quiz her on the Hot Pockets box. So to start off, one of the biggest things is going to be the serving size. It's going to be bolder, so it's easier to read to consumers, and it's on basically every box and every manufactured good. So this one has a serving size of 16 pieces, or 16 sticks really. And then it also says that it has 2.5 servings per container, meaning there should be roughly around 40 sticks in the box. And then before we move forward, I do want to let you know that as of January 1st, 2020, they updated the requirements for the nutrition facts label. So manufacturers with more than $10 million in revenue are going to have two columns. The first column is the per serving column, and then the second column is going to be the per container column. Excuse the cat. So for this box, the per serving calories, or the amount of calories per serving, is going to be 150 calories. And then per box, it's going to be 340 calories. Now, for the calories, about 100 calories per serving is a good amount, a fair amount. So 400 and more is going to be a high amount. So this one has just about like a fair amount of calories per serving. And then going forward, you're going to see values in grams or milligrams. And then on the right, you're going to see percent daily value, which is made as in percent DV. And then there's going to be a little footnote on the bottom of every nutrition facts label, and that's just going to tell you what the percent daily value means, like what it is. So for this box, the total fat in this one box is 14 grams, which is 18% of your percent daily value. And then that's broken up into saturated fat and trans fat. So the saturated fat in this one box is 8 grams, which is 40% of your daily value. And then there's 0 grams of trans fat. Now, scientists have found that the amount of fat isn't as important as what type of fat that you're consuming. So trans fat is going to be a little worse for you than saturated. And so they'll always have the saturated and trans fat on the box. So going forward, cholesterol, there's less than 5 milligrams in this box, and that's about 1% of your percent daily value. And then the sodium, there's 150 milligrams, which is 7% of your daily value. And then the total carbohydrates on this box, it says that there's 50 grams per box, which is 18% of your percent daily value. And the carbohydrates include your dietary fiber, which there's 2 grams in this box, which is about 7% of your percent daily value. Total sugars is 22 grams, and then the included added sugars is 20 grams in this box, or 40% of your percent daily value. Included added sugars can mean anything that they put in while manufacturing, so table sugar, anything from honeys or just things like that. Protein is 5 grams for this box. And then after that, there's usually like a bold line to like cut it off a little bit. And then below that, you're going to see your vitamin D, calcium, iron, and potassium. So the reason that these are at the bottom is because scientists have found that Americans don't consume enough in their diet. So it's important to add it on the box so Americans can know, this is how much I'm getting per serving or per box. In this box, there's 0 vitamin D, so 0% of your percent daily value. Calcium, there's 50 milligrams, which is 4%. Iron, there's 1.9 milligrams, which is 10%. And then potassium, there's 130 milligrams, which is 2%. So those are the nutrients that you need to get more of in your diet, or Americans don't get enough of in their diet. The nutrients that you need to get less of is the saturated fat, sodium, added sugar, trans fat. So the difference is that those items that you get a lot of, they're not good for you, really. They can lead to health conditions that aren't good, of course. And then the nutrients below the bold line are things that you don't get enough of, and if you do get enough, they can help reduce the risk of those certain health conditions. So that's why it's important for all manufacturers to include this. There's also going to be usually an ingredients list. It's not required in the nutrition facts label, but a lot of people or a lot of companies will include it. And then the list starts with the heaviest per box or per serving. So there's going to be the most wheat flour in this over all the other things. So that's basically the nutrition facts label. So if I can get you to look at the Hot Pockets box, can you tell me, or I'll just say, there's 1 serving per container, and then there's 2 sandwiches, so that means there's 2 servings in 1 box. So based on what is on the nutrition facts label, can you tell me how many calories would be in 4 sandwiches, which would be 2 boxes?
So there's 620 for each box, so it would be 1,240 calories.
Yes. Okay, now based on the nutrients, can you tell me how much sodium would be in 4 sandwiches, so double the amount per container, and then how much of your percent daily value would be in that?
So there's 940 milligrams per container, so it would be 1,880 milligrams, which would be 82% of the percent daily value.
Okay. And then the last question would be, which nutrient is the most abundant, and how much of it is it in your percent daily value?
So that would be the saturated fat. There is 17 grams of it in the container, which is 85% of your percent daily value.
Which kind of shows you that, again, there's a lot consumed by Americans, and that's why it's so high in our diets, because a lot of manufactured goods will have those different nutrients that are abundant in our diet. So that's basically how you read the nutrition facts label. Do you have any questions?
I do not, Tiana. You explained everything very well.
Thank you. Thank you.